Funny thing about life is things don't always work out the way we envision them. Even something as simple as gracefully removing the sleeve from a brand new bullet journal on camera can be a lot more complicated than we ever dreamed. You'd be surprised at how difficult it is to do that in one fluid motion while keeping your book level on camera with one hand is, I don't know, try it out yourselves when you're just sitting around opening up your new one. See if you can do it. I've seen so many other people do it so gracefully, and then there's me. But that seems to be how it usually goes. So anyway, that brings us into my personal little mantra that I'm going to be keeping in mind for this year. Slow and steady wins the race, and I'm hoping it will get me through 2018. Anyway, I'm Allison, and welcome to the Mighty Bujo. I'm setting up my brand new one, and I have high hopes for this. But like I said, we'll see how it goes. Now, being January, I know that resolutions are all the rage at this time of the year, but I'm not going to set any, simply because time and time again, I make this ambitious list of resolutions, and then 3 or 4 days into the month, I've already given up. I've already failed. So what I'm going to be doing is little mini challenges, and I will be incorporating that into my pages, and I'll show y'all just exactly how I intend to do that in just a little bit. But first, we're going to be working on my year at a glance page. Now these boxes are 12 spaces across by 10 spaces down, so my numbers are not inside boxes, at least I don't think. They're just centered in there. Now this spread will be for my feature log. And I'm about to make a big mistake. I started it with January. Luckily, I realized it before I finished and got too far into it. And it's the first time ever I used some whiteout. And I just redid it. So I am only putting 5 months in here. And my last column will be for and beyond. And that'll cover however far in advance I have things scheduled. So this will be my first time trying a vertical layout for the feature log, and I'm kind of excited about it. I haven't liked the ones that I've done in the past. This is my 4th bullet journal, by the way. So yeah, first time to do it this way. And I decided I didn't want to column because
mainly and beyond. I didn't space it right, so it didn't fit. So I just removed that line with my Uni-Ball Signo 153 white gel pen. Now what I'm going to do down at the bottom of these is each month add a decoration that ties in with my theme. I already know that for February I'll be doing Valentine's, so I'm putting the little hearts down at the bottom of February's. I haven't decided on my theme for March, April, May, or so on, so I'm going to leave those blank, and when I set up March, I'll come back in and add a little doodle at the bottom of that column. And over here and beyond, it makes me think of Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story, to infinity and beyond. I don't know why, but it's what I think of. So in honor of Buzz, I'm doing stars. So I really like how this one turned out. I think it's nice and clean and simple and cute. Now this will be for my mini challenges that I mentioned. And what I'm going to do is I'm setting up for 3 months, which is about how long a bullet journal lasts me, because yeah, I go collection and tracker page crazy, so I fill these up really quick. So I should be able to get 3 months out of this, no problem. I might be able to get 4, but I won't be able to go any farther. Now the squares are 4 little each for the numbers to make them big. Now how this is going to work is, I haven't decided completely, but I'm going to be putting a mini tracker within my monthly pages, and then I'm also going to come back out here, and if I have completed the challenge for that day, I will come in and color that square, and it will make more sense here in a moment, hopefully. So what I'm hoping this will do is help me work on some areas of my life where I just let things fall by the wayside. So I'm hoping to establish good habits 1 month at a time. So supposedly it takes 2 weeks to get into a new habit. So I'm going to give myself a month, and maybe some of it will actually stick. So instead of having a resolution that I give up by January 15th, maybe this way I'll have, okay, well, for a month I can do this. And then by the time I move on to the new task, hopefully that first one will become a little bit more ingrained in my day-to-day. At least that's the plan. So like for January, I'm going to start off with a morning routine and try and do the same things every morning. And then hopefully by February, that will become part of my daily routine. And then I'm going to pick something else off of this list and focus on that theme for the month. And again, hopefully by the time I move on to the next one, you know, I doubt I'll hit this all 100%, but at least maybe this way it'll have a good chance of becoming part of my day-to-day life. And I'm really excited to see how this is going to go. It's kind of a little experiment. And then since I love to color in boxes, having those little trackers on there, I'm hoping again will reinforce. But we'll see how it goes. Now this one is going to be for bigger goals that I have for the year, that I won't be necessarily working on day to day, just things that I hope to get done or need to get done as the year progresses. This little doodle I found on Pinterest, and I loved it, so I decided to try and copy it and put it into my own book. And I was surprised I was actually able to do that little scroll work up at the top. So I'm really happy with the way this turns out. Unfortunately, I don't remember who did the pin. I've noticed either I don't know how Pinterest works and I haven't quite grasped it yet, but it's really hard to find who the original source is on things. So if anybody has some pointers on, what I may be overlooking on that, if you can put it down in the comments, let me know, because I would love to give credit to the people who originally came up with these. Oh, and that little notepad I moved in just because when you're at the beginning of a book, my hand was so elevated it was hard to write, so that just kind of raised the surface for me. And again, I've got it over on the left. You'll see that notepad being moved around a lot, and that's to level out my book again, because at the beginning, you know how it tends to slope. So just find something about the same height as your book and slide it under there, and problem solved. And normally with Tombows, it drives me insane with the streaking, but I really like it when I'm doing something along this lines where I'm trying to get a wood grain effect. So the streaking kind of gives that grain vibe, at least to me. Here, I'm just adding a little bit more texture. Now for drop-down shadow effects, what you want to do is pick two sides and stick with it. So if you'll notice on this, I am always shading to the left or the underside. So everything is left or under. And then that gives you a consistent looking shadow. And with this gray being so light, it didn't necessarily have to be neat. When you're looking at it normally, not zoomed in, it looks smooth. We just had our house appraised last year, and we had some deferred maintenance, is what they called it. And my husband and I like that term. It's just all those repair jobs that you haven't done around the house. So there's my list of the ones that we need to get done. Oh, I've been trying to figure out what this is. This is for savings. It's a really good motivator to color in these squares whenever I make a deposit into our savings account. So this is what it is. And these little banners are supposed to be like those little metal plates that you would attach to something. Now, I screwed up here. I wish I hadn't chosen the silver Prismacolor pencil for this. Normally, I love this pencil, but here I'm just not digging it. But I was kind of committed, so I just stuck with it. And we have a health savings account through my husband's job, and we're also adding to it to meet our high deductible. So I'm gonna track that here, and our like $15 checks that we're getting from the natural gas under the house. So those are part of the Barnett Shale, I believe, out here in Texas. Those are pretty much reached the end of their usefulness. thought it'd be nice next to my list of expenses to list some, places where we are banking some money. It's always nice to see a little something on the good side. And over there on the right, I've listed out the expenses, and these are just the bills. This isn't like food and clothing and all the extras. And then multiply it by 6, and that gives you what you should have for your emergency fund. And continuing on with finance tracking, over here is, let's see. Medical and credit cards. I have a couple of credit cards. We typically try to keep them zeroed out. So just place to record activity when they're used and any medical expenses. Like I said, with the high deductibles, sometimes you've got those bills that need to be paid. I think those little tabs worked much better with the gray Tombow as opposed to the silver Prismacolor. This, I've just broken it down to color in a square each time a payment is made on the 2 loans that we currently have. And again, this is just it feels like when you've got a loan that lasts longer than a year, like you're never getting anywhere. So this way you can visually see it, vanishing and going away. So I thought I would incorporate this and try it. And I've also included, the amount of the original loan, the interest, the payoff, how much it'll cost, how many months, all of that pertinent information. So I expect those to be useful to see. Now on my tracker pages, I always put a thin strip of washi up at the top, and that helps me when I'm deeper in the book. And I just feel for that washi tape up top, and I can flip back to it. So there we go. That was 6 pages if you include the quote. And here's a little flip through. So I do have, I believe, another 12 pages, if y'all can believe that, for my setup before I even get to January. So I will be posting part 2 of this and 3, hopefully very, very soon. So be sure to subscribe if you would like to come back and see more of this, and leave me a comment. Let me know what y'all think of my new little intro. I've been playing with that, and I'm quite happy with it, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and I guess that's it for now. I still haven't set up my January pages, but don't tell anybody. I'm going to get to work on that. I'll have more videos up soon, I promise. Now that everything's all caught up, I should be able to finally get a steady schedule going. But we'll see. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope y'all have a great day. And yeah, that was it. I forgot. So, bye y'all.